Welcome back, my students from Carthage International School at 8th grade. I hope you're doing well and everything is okay with you. Today we're going to continue our material in English word. We're still at unit number 6, page 63 from student book, which is grammar in use. Before we start explaining this type of grammar, I need you to look carefully at this picture. Think of it, or think when we can raise up our thumbs. Think of it. You have a little time. Okay, most of you are going to say that we are usually raise up our thumbs when there is something good happened or when we like something. That's right. This is when we can raise our thumbs, but also there is another thing or another situation that you can raise up our thumbs of when you agree of something. So, to agree of something or when you are agreeing about something, you can raise up your thumbs also. So this is what we're gonna learn, how to agree with positive statements or affirmative statements and how to agree with negative statements. To make it easy for you, remember me too. For example, when I say I like pizza and you are agreeing with me, you're gonna reply to me too. Like I like pizza, you're gonna say me too. This me too, there is another two ways how to say me too. Like there's a lot of ways to reply about agreeing of these statements. Like not always you can use me too. There's another way to reply or to express your agreeing about something. How? This is what we're gonna learn, and this called agreeing with positive or affirmative and negative statements in English. If it's positive, your reply is so do I or I do too, like me too. If it's negative, neither do I or I don't either. Okay, let's remember together the auxiliary verbs. The auxiliary verbs are helping verbs. الأفعال المساعدة. Look at the first box. Am, is, or, was, and were. These are the family of verbs to be. And we use it to express the simple present tense when it comes as a main verb, and always to express the present continuous tense when it comes as a helping verb, and past continuous always. And am, is, or, these are in simple present, was and were for past tense. Do, does, did, these are the family of verbs to do. Do and does, simple present, did, simple past. The third box are the families of verbs to have. Has and have, simple present, and had, simple past. Look at these colored words. These are called modal verbs. Can, could, may, might, must, will, would, shall, and should. So remember these auxiliary verbs. We're gonna use it a lot in this grammar. Let's start with the first type of this grammar, which is the agreeing with affirmative statements. Affirmative means positive statements, which does not contain the word not. So if the statement does not contain the word not, this is called affirmative statements. So you need to use the word so to start your agreeing statements about affirmative statements. Look at this. I speak English. This is affirmative statements because it does not contain the word not. Okay. To agree with these statements, you need to start your sentence with so. Remember, so with the affirmative statements, not the negative statements. with the affirmative, the positive statements. So start with the word so, follow it with one of the auxiliary verbs. The rule is, if the statements contain any of these auxiliary verbs, you're gonna use the same auxiliary or the same family of it in the agreeing statements. If the statement does not contain any of these auxiliary, you're gonna use the family of verbs to do, which are do, does, or did. Okay. If the statements in the present tense, you're gonna use do or does. Do for plural subject, does for singular subject. If it's expressing the past tense, you're gonna use did for both singular and plural subject. And here is the tense of this statement is present, so we're gonna use do because the subject is plural. Sentence number 2. I have traveled to other states in the USA. Here, the statements contain already one of these auxiliary verbs, so we're gonna use the same auxiliary verb. Start with so, follow it with one of these auxiliary which is have, and the subject is I. The form is so plus auxiliary verb or modal plus subject. للموافقة على الجملة المثبتة يجب أن تبدأ جملة الموافقة دائما وأبدا بسو إذا كانت الجملة مثبتة لا تحتوي على كلمة not، ثم تتبعها دائما بإحدى الأفعال المساعدة. إذا كانت الجملة تحتوي على أحد هذه الأفعال المساعدة فإننا نستخدمها هي نفسها أو عائلتها، لأنها تتغير حسب الفاعل، إذا كان الفاعل مفرد له كلمة وإذا كان جمع له تصريف آخر. فإذا so يتبعها دائما أحد هذه الأفعال. أما إذا كانت الجملة لا تحتوي على الأفعال المساعدة يجب أن تختار أحد الأفعال المساعدة من عائلة do فقط. إذا الجملة لا تحتوي على أحد هذه الأفعال المساعدة فقط تلجأ إلى عائلة do. إذا كانت الجملة في زمن المضارع نستخدم do أو does. do إذا كان الفاعل جمع، does إذا كان الفاعل مفرد. أما إذا كانت الجملة في زمن الماضي فنستخدم did لكلا الفاعلين المفرد والجمع، ثم يأتي بعدها الفاعل. تذكر أن الفاعل يأتي بعد الفعل المساعد وليس قبله، بعد الفعل المساعد وليس قبله. تذكر هذه القاعدة. Let's answer some examples together. I have got a sister, so have I. Look at all of these examples. If you notice that all of them are positive statements because none of them contain the word not. So these are positive affirmative statements. And we're going to use the word so always. At the beginning of the agreeing statements, we're gonna use the word so because they are a positive or affirmative statements. I have got a sister, so because it's because it's affirmative statements, and then it followed by the have auxiliary verb because it contains this auxiliary, and then the object. I swim every day. It's affirmative, started with so. Okay, it does not contain any auxiliary verb. Remember, we need to use the family of verbs to do. Because it's simple present tense, we need to use do or does. And because the subject is singular, we used does. Number 3, yesterday he ate a sandwich. So did I. Here always we don't have any auxiliary verb, so we're gonna use one of the family of verbs to do. And because it's in the past, we know because from the keyword yesterday and the verb itself in the past, simple past, So we're gonna use that for both singular and plural subject. The last one, he is a handsome man. So am I. It's affirmative. We start with so. It's contain the verb or the auxiliary verb, which is is. So we are going to answer with is or one of its family. And because this subject is I, we used am because this is the suitable helping verb for the subject I. That's it. And this is not the end for our grammar. We're gonna continue in the next video. Keep watching, please.